In a world filled with constant distractions, stress, and rapid changes, the wisdom of ancient philosophies such as Stoicism can provide much-needed guidance. Stoicism, a school of philosophy founded in Athens by Zeno of Citium in the early 3rd century BC, has endured the test of time due to its practical teachings on maintaining inner peace and emotional resilience. Through the works of prominent Stoic philosophers like Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca, we gain insights into how to approach life's challenges with a balanced and measured mindset. The following 10 lessons from Stoicism offer valuable strategies for cultivating tranquility and strength of mind. These lessons are not abstract theories, but actionable practices that can be applied to everyday life. As we journey through each of these principles, we will explore how they can help you remain calm amidst adversity, find contentment, and achieve a deeper sense of purpose. By understanding and embracing these Stoic principles, you can learn to master your emotions, make sound decisions, and maintain a state of equanimity. Stay with us until the end, and you will discover not only practical techniques, but also thought-provoking questions that will challenge you to reflect on your own life and how these lessons can bring about a profound transformation. 1. Practice detachment. The first lesson we derive from Stoicism is the practice of detachment. But what does detachment truly mean in a Stoic sense? For the Stoics, detachment is not about renouncing the world or rejecting all that it has to offer. Rather, it involves freeing oneself from excessive dependence on external circumstances for one's happiness and inner peace. It is about cultivating a mindset where the stability of your emotions does not hinge on possessions, status, or other external factors that are beyond your control. Understanding the Stoic concept of detachment, Epictetus, a former slave turned Stoic philosopher, once said, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This insight underscores the Stoic belief that we cannot control external events, only our responses to them. When we attach our happiness to material possessions, relationships, or even our own achievements, we place our well-being at the mercy of fortune. The Stoics teach that true freedom comes when we learn to detach from these external things and instead focus on controlling our inner world. Have you ever found yourself becoming anxious or upset because of a lost possession or an unexpected setback? Have you felt your mood dictated by the actions of others or the outcome of events that you could not control? These reactions arise from a form of attachment that binds your emotional state to factors outside of your power. The Stoics argue that by practicing detachment, we liberate ourselves from these emotional chains and regain our inner equilibrium. Practical steps for practicing detachment. To practice detachment does not mean to reject all material things or live a life of asceticism. Rather, it is about finding balance and being mindful of how much weight we give to external things in determining our happiness. Here are practical steps based on Stoic teachings to help cultivate detachment. Simplify your life. Consider the number of possessions you have. Do they serve a purpose, or do they merely clutter your space and mind? Reducing material clutter and focusing on things that add genuine value to your life can foster a sense of freedom. Seneca, in his letters, often advocated for simplicity, stating that luxury and excess do not lead to a tranquil mind. Reflect on your dependence. Are there particular things you feel you cannot live without? It could be a particular gadget, a social media platform, or even approval from others. Notice how these dependencies affect your emotions and mood. Practice letting go, even for short periods, to see how it changes your state of mind. Engage in negative visualization. One practice the Stoics often used was negative visualization, where you imagine losing the things you value most. This exercise is not meant to induce fear, but to prepare yourself for the reality that nothing is permanent. By contemplating the possibility of loss, you strengthen your ability to cope if such events occur. Reflection. Are you truly free? Ask yourself, to what extent do I allow external circumstances to dictate my happiness? Do I react strongly to setbacks because I am too attached to outcomes? The Stoic path encourages us to seek freedom not by changing the world around us, but by changing our relationship with the world. When we learn to detach from external things, we find that our inner peace remains intact, regardless of what happens outside. As you ponder these questions, remember that detachment is not about becoming indifferent or unfeeling. It is about caring deeply for what matters while accepting that some things are beyond our control. It is a balance between engagement and surrender. Let us now move forward to the next lesson, where we shall delve into the importance of living in the present moment and how Stoicism guides us to embrace the here and now. 2. Live in the present. One of the central tenets of Stoicism is the practice of living in the present. The Stoics taught that many of our anxieties stem from two main sources: regrets about the past and worries about the future. By grounding ourselves in the present moment, we can free our minds from these distractions and find a sense of calm. The Stoic philosophy on the present moment. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, wrote in his Meditations, "Confine yourself to the present." This advice serves as a reminder that the present is the only time we truly possess. The past is beyond our control, and the future is uncertain. The more we focus on the here and now, the more we can appreciate life as it unfolds, free from the burdens of what was or what might be. Have you ever found yourself replaying past mistakes in your mind, wishing you could go back and change them? Or perhaps you often worry about future outcomes, fearing what might happen if things do not go as planned. Such thoughts can consume your mental energy, leaving little room for appreciating the beauty and opportunities present right in front of you. Ways to live in the present. Living in the present does not mean ignoring the past or neglecting to plan for the future. Rather, it means not allowing your mind to dwell excessively on these aspects. Here are practical ways inspired by Stoicism to embrace the present moment. Mindfulness practices. Engaging in activities that promote mindfulness, such as meditation or deep breathing exercises, helps center your attention on the current moment. Try to focus on your immediate surroundings, the sensations you feel, and the sounds you hear. Allow yourself to fully experience the present without distractions. Avoid multitasking. Do one thing at a time and give it your full attention. Multitasking may seem efficient, but it often leads to a scattered mind. The Stoics advocated for concentrating on one task, performing it with excellence, and then moving on to the next. Daily reflection. At the end of each day, spend a few minutes reflecting on your actions and thoughts. Were there moments when you were fully present? Did you find yourself worrying about the future or dwelling on the past? Use this reflection to guide you toward a more mindful approach the next day. A moment of contemplation. How do you spend your time? Think about how much of your day is spent lost in thought about things that are not happening right now. Are you often preoccupied with regrets, or do you constantly anticipate what's to come? What would change if you devoted more attention to living in the present moment? Stoicism encourages us to remember that time is a finite resource. Every moment spent elsewhere, whether in the past or future, is a moment not lived. By cultivating a present-focused mindset, we not only enhance our experience of life, but also reduce unnecessary stress and anxiety. 3. Practice gratitude. Gratitude is a powerful Stoic practice that can shift our mindset from lack to abundance, from dissatisfaction to contentment. The Stoics emphasized gratitude not just as a fleeting feeling, but as an active practice that shapes our perspective on life. It involves recognizing the value of what we have, however modest, and appreciating life's blessings without attachment. The Stoic approach to gratitude. Marcus Aurelius reflected on the value of gratitude in his Meditations, advising us to consider often the connection of all things in the universe. By understanding how interconnected everything is, we learn to appreciate even the small things, recognizing that they all contribute to the broader tapestry of life. Gratitude, for the Stoics, is about seeing everything as an opportunity for growth and contentment, regardless of circumstances. Think about your daily life. How often do you pause to appreciate what you already have? It is easy to get caught up in chasing more, wanting what others possess, or lamenting what is missing. Yet, when we focus on these pursuits, we overlook the value of the present. The practice of gratitude involves shifting our focus to what is already within our grasp and recognizing that we already have enough to live a fulfilled life. Practical ways to cultivate gratitude. Gratitude is not just an internal feeling, but also a way of living. Incorporating practical gratitude exercises into your daily life can help foster a deeper appreciation for the world around you. Here are some Stoic-inspired methods. Keep a gratitude journal. Every day, write down 3 things you are grateful for. They can be as simple as having a meal, spending time with a friend, or even experiencing a quiet moment. The key is to make this a daily habit, reinforcing a mindset that finds value in everyday occurrences. Express gratitude to others. Don't keep your appreciation to yourself. Take the time to thank the people in your life for what they bring. Whether it is writing a thank you note, sending a message, or simply telling someone in person, expressing gratitude helps strengthen connections and reminds you of the positive aspects of your relationships. Mindful appreciation. Engage in activities like walking in nature, observing your surroundings with a sense of wonder, or enjoying a simple meal slowly and thoughtfully. This mindful appreciation of life's simple pleasures helps cultivate a sense of contentment. Reflecting on your mindset. Are you taking things for granted? Ask yourself, when was the last time I consciously appreciated what I have? Do I often find myself focusing on what I lack rather than what I possess? How would my life change if I made a habit of expressing gratitude every day? In Stoicism, the emphasis on gratitude goes beyond being thankful when things are good. It is about maintaining a mindset of appreciation even when life presents difficulties. For the Stoic, every challenge is also an opportunity to practice resilience and find value in personal growth. This outlook keeps us grounded and helps us avoid becoming consumed by our desires for more. As we conclude this section on gratitude, let us turn our attention to another key Stoic principle: resilience. It is through resilience that we can face life's inevitable setbacks with strength and composure. 4. Develop resilience. Resilience is a cornerstone of Stoicism. The Stoics believed that life's difficulties are inevitable, but how we respond to them is within our control. They taught that adversities should not be viewed as personal misfortunes, but as opportunities for growth and self-improvement. Developing resilience means cultivating the inner strength to endure challenges while maintaining a balanced mindset. The Stoic perspective on facing difficulties. Seneca, in his letters, often spoke about how adversities shape character. He wrote, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body." For the Stoics, struggles were not just unfortunate events to be avoided, but necessary experiences that test and refine the soul. Life, according to Stoicism, is a series of trials, and each trial is an opportunity to become stronger and more virtuous. When you encounter a setback, how do you react? Do you view it as a failure, or do you see it as a chance to learn and grow? The Stoics encourage us to face life's hardships with a sense of acceptance and curiosity, asking ourselves what lessons can be drawn from each experience, building resilience in everyday life. To build resilience, we must train ourselves to view difficulties not as threats, but as teachers. Here are some Stoic-inspired practices to develop a resilient mindset. Embrace challenges as opportunities. Instead of avoiding difficult tasks or circumstances, approach them with the mindset that they will help you grow. This doesn't mean you should seek out unnecessary hardships, but rather that you should not shy away from difficulties when they arise. Every challenge is an opportunity to strengthen your mind and develop virtues like patience, courage, and wisdom. Practice voluntary discomfort. The Stoics would sometimes engage in acts of voluntary discomfort, such as fasting or enduring the cold, to prepare for potential hardships. By practicing this, you train your mind to endure discomfort and build resilience against life's inevitable difficulties. This doesn't mean being extreme. Rather, it's about occasionally stepping outside of your comfort zone to strengthen your mental fortitude. Learn from your mistakes. When setbacks occur, use them as learning experiences. Ask yourself, what can I do differently next time? How did this challenge reveal areas where I can improve? By reflecting on your experiences, you can turn failures into stepping stones for growth. Reflection. Do you see yourself as resilient? Ask yourself, when faced with difficulties, do I react with frustration, or do I see these moments as opportunities for growth? How can I better embrace the trials of life and use them to strengthen my character? Stoicism teaches us that while we may not be able to control what happens to us, we can always control how we respond. By developing resilience, we become more adaptable and prepared to face whatever life brings our way. Now, as we move from resilience, let's explore the practice of living in the present, another key aspect of Stoic philosophy that helps us maintain calmness and clarity in daily life. 5. Accept what you cannot change. Acceptance is a fundamental tenet in Stoicism. The Stoics taught that peace of mind comes from acknowledging that many aspects of life are beyond our control. They encourage us to focus our energy on what we can influence while accepting what we cannot. The Stoic understanding of acceptance, Epictetus, famously stated, "It's not the events themselves that disturb people, but their judgments about those events." This insight reminds us that suffering often arises not from external circumstances, but from how we perceive them. If we cling to the belief that things must go a certain way, we set ourselves up for frustration and distress when reality does not align with our expectations. Have you ever found yourself worrying about events that are out of your hands? Maybe it's the behavior of others, the outcome of a situation, or even the state of the world. While it is natural to feel concerned, Stoicism teaches that dwelling on these matters only disrupts our peace of mind. Instead, we should focus on our responses and actions which are within our control. How to practice acceptance in daily life. Acceptance is not about resignation or passivity. It is about understanding where your efforts can be meaningful. Here are some practical ways to cultivate acceptance. Differentiate between what you can and cannot control. The Stoics used the dichotomy of control to distinguish between what is within our control, our thoughts, actions, and responses, and what is not, external events, other people's behavior and outcomes. By focusing only on what you can control, you conserve your energy for what truly matters. Adopt a flexible mindset. Life is unpredictable, and rigid expectations can lead to disappointment. Cultivating flexibility helps you adapt to changing circumstances without becoming overwhelmed. Practice saying, "I will do my best and accept whatever comes." Use cognitive reframing techniques. When faced with a challenging situation, try to see it from a different perspective. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Or how can I use this experience to grow? This reframing helps shift your focus from what is going wrong to what can be gained. Reflect. Are you holding on to what you cannot change? Ask yourself, how often do I find myself frustrated by things I cannot control? How would my life change if I focused more on my actions and less on external outcomes? In the practice of acceptance, we learn to let go of unnecessary burdens and find peace in the present. It is an act of liberation, freeing us from the futile struggle against the inevitable. 6. Avoid being led by desires. One of the central teachings of Stoicism is the importance of mastering one's desires. The Stoics believed that excessive desires lead to enslavement by our passions, making us reactive rather than proactive in our pursuit of a virtuous life. To achieve true freedom, we must exercise control over our desires rather than allow them to control us. Understanding desire in the Stoic context, Epictetus emphasized that freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. This freedom is not merely physical, but also psychological. When we are ruled by desires for wealth, pleasure, recognition, or even comfort, we become prisoners to those cravings. The pursuit of these external things consumes our thoughts and actions, often leading us away from what truly matters, living a virtuous and meaningful life. Have you ever felt compelled to chase after material possessions or pleasures, only to find that they didn't bring lasting happiness? This cycle of craving and dissatisfaction can leave one feeling empty, as the pursuit of desires often creates more anxiety and unrest. Stoicism teaches that by reducing our dependence on external pleasures and focusing on inner contentment, we can attain a deeper sense of freedom and tranquility. Practical steps to avoid being led by desires. To practice temperance and master your desires, you don't need to abandon all pleasures or live in extreme austerity. Instead, focus on moderating your desires and aligning them with what contributes to your long-term well-being. Here are some practical steps inspired by Stoic principles. Practice delayed gratification. Train yourself to resist the urge for immediate rewards. For example, if you crave a luxury item, give yourself a few days or even weeks to reflect on whether it is truly necessary. This practice can help you make more deliberate and thoughtful decisions rather than impulsive ones. Set long-term goals and break them down. Having meaningful long-term goals helps keep your focus on what is truly valuable. Break these goals down into smaller, manageable steps that you can work on daily. This approach shifts your attention away from short-term desires and towards sustained progress. Engage in self-reflection. Regularly ask yourself why you desire certain things. Is it because they bring genuine joy, or because you are influenced by societal expectations? Understanding the root of your desires helps you distinguish between what is necessary for a good life and what is merely a distraction. Reflect. Are your desires truly your own? Consider this. How often do your desires reflect your true values, and how often are they driven by external influences or social pressures? Are there desires you pursue that do not genuinely contribute to your well-being? By being mindful of your desires, you can redirect your focus toward cultivating inner peace and contentment. Stoicism reminds us that true freedom is not found in the endless pursuit of external things, but in mastering our inner world. When we gain control over our desires, we find that our minds are calmer and we are less easily disturbed by the ups and downs of life. As we move forward, let's turn our attention to the next lesson on prioritizing self-care and understanding its role in maintaining a balanced and healthy life. 7. Prioritize self-care. In Stoicism, The mind and body are seen as interconnected. Taking care of one's physical health is considered essential for maintaining a strong and resilient mind. The Stoics viewed self-care not as a luxury, but as a duty, one that is crucial for living a life of temperance and virtue. The Stoic view on self-care. Marcus Aurelius often wrote about the importance of keeping the body in good condition, stating that neglecting the body is a form of disrespect towards oneself. The Stoics understood that while the mind can endure great difficulties, it operates best when supported by a healthy body. Therefore, self-care extends beyond mental practices and includes caring for the body through exercise, diet, and rest. Do you often find yourself neglecting your physical well-being due to a busy schedule or other priorities? It's common to prioritize work, obligations, or even leisure over health, but this imbalance can take a toll on both the body and the mind. Stoicism teaches that taking care of the physical self is not an indulgence, but a necessary foundation for inner strength and tranquility. Practical approaches to self-care. Self-care in the Stoic sense is about creating habits that maintain physical and mental well-being. Here are ways to incorporate self-care practices inspired by Stoic teachings. Regular exercise. Physical activity is not just about appearance, but about maintaining strength and endurance. Find an exercise you enjoy and make it a regular part of your routine. It can be as simple as walking, stretching, or practicing a sport that brings you joy. The key is consistency, as regular movement supports both physical health and mental clarity. Balanced diet. The Stoics advocated for moderation in all things, including food. Pay attention to your diet, avoiding extremes of overindulgence or deprivation. Nourish your body with wholesome foods that provide the energy and nutrients needed for a balanced life. Adequate rest. Rest and recovery are just as important as activity. Make sure to get enough sleep and take breaks when needed. This helps the mind stay sharp and the body function at its best. Stoicism emphasizes the need to find harmony between work and relaxation. Reflect. Are you neglecting your well-being? Ask yourself, how much attention do I give to my physical and mental health? Am I often too busy to exercise, eat well, or rest adequately? How would my life improve if I made self-care a priority? The practice of self-care ensures that you have the physical and mental energy to face life's challenges with resilience. It is a foundational practice that supports all other Stoic principles, allowing you to live according to your values without being hindered by physical limitations. As we wrap up this section, let's explore the next principle, which emphasizes the continuous journey of learning and growth in the pursuit of a virtuous life. 8. Embrace continuous learning. The Stoics believed that the pursuit of wisdom is a lifelong journey. They saw philosophy not as a set of doctrines, but as a way of life that requires continuous effort and refinement. The goal is not to achieve perfection, but to keep striving towards self-improvement, recognizing that there is always more to learn. The Stoic mindset on learning. In Meditations, Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If someone can show me a better way to think, I will gladly change my mind." This attitude reflects the Stoic openness to learning and the humility to accept that one's current understanding is not absolute. Continuous learning is essential for cultivating the virtues that Stoicism values: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. Have you ever felt that you've reached a point where you no longer need to learn, that you've already mastered what is necessary for life? Stoicism reminds us that wisdom is not static. It evolves as we grow, face new experiences, and encounter different perspectives. There is no endpoint in the pursuit of knowledge, only an ongoing journey. Practical ways to engage in lifelong learning. To embody the Stoic principle of continuous learning, make self-improvement a regular part of your life. Here are some ways to do this. Daily reflection. Spend a few minutes each day reflecting on what you have learned from your experiences. What did you do well? Where did you falter? How can you improve tomorrow? This habit of self-examination helps you stay on the path of growth. Read widely and deeply. The Stoics were avid readers of philosophy, literature, and other subjects that could expand their understanding of the world. Make time to read books that challenge your thinking and broaden your perspective. Seek feedback. Don't be afraid to ask others for feedback on your actions and decisions. Listen with an open mind and use their insights as opportunities for growth. This approach aligns with the Stoic practice of valuing truth over ego. Reflect. Are you still learning? Consider this. Do you actively seek out new knowledge, or do you find yourself falling into the comfort of what you already know? How could embracing a mindset of continuous learning change your approach to daily life and the challenges you face? By committing to lifelong learning, you not only expand your mind, but also build the resilience and wisdom needed to navigate life's complexities. Stoicism teaches that the more we grow in understanding, the better equipped we are to live virtuously. As we conclude this section, we move to the practice of empathy, an important Stoic value that promotes understanding and harmony in our relationships. 9. Practice empathy. Empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of others. For the Stoics, practicing empathy was not merely about being kind, it was about recognizing our shared humanity. Stoicism teaches that we are all interconnected, and that understanding others' perspectives helps maintain harmony and reduce unnecessary conflict. The Stoic perspective on empathy. The Stoic philosopher Seneca wrote about treating others with the same patience and understanding that we would want for ourselves. He saw empathy as an extension of justice, recognizing that we all struggle with our own challenges and imperfections. Practicing empathy allows us to respond with compassion rather than judgment, fostering a sense of community and connection. When you interact with others, do you make an effort to understand their perspective, or do you find yourself quick to judge or react defensively? Empathy, according to Stoicism, requires us to put aside our own biases and consider the other person's experience with an open mind. It is not about agreeing with everyone, but about seeking to understand their position. Ways to cultivate empathy. To develop empathy, engage in practices that help you connect with others on a deeper level. Here are some Stoic-inspired methods. Pause before reacting. When faced with a disagreement or conflict, take a moment to pause and reflect. Consider the other person's viewpoint before responding. This pause allows you to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. Practice active listening. Give others your full attention when they speak. Listen not just to their words, but to the emotions behind them. Active listening shows that you value their perspective and helps you understand their underlying needs and concerns. Reflect on shared human experiences. Remember that everyone experiences joy, pain, fear, and hope. Reflect on the commonalities that bind us all as human beings, regardless of our differences. This understanding fosters a sense of connection and compassion. Reflect. Do you practice empathy in your daily life? Ask yourself, how often do I take the time to understand others' perspectives before responding? Am I quick to judge, or do I approach situations with an open heart and mind? Practicing empathy helps build stronger relationships and cultivates an environment where understanding and compassion flourish. In Stoicism, empathy is a practice of seeing others as fellow travelers on the same journey toward a virtuous life. Now, let us proceed to the final lesson, distancing yourself from negative influences, a practice that helps protect your peace of mind. 10. Distance yourself from negative influences. The final lesson from Stoicism focuses on protecting your peace of mind by distancing yourself from negative influences. The Stoics recognized that our environment plays a significant role in shaping our thoughts and behaviors. Therefore, it is crucial to be mindful of the people, habits, and information that can negatively affect our state of mind. The Stoic approach to negative influences. In his writings, Marcus Aurelius advised, "Keep yourself simple, good, pure, serious, unpretentious, a friend of justice, God-fearing kind, full of affection, strong for your proper work." He understood that our character is influenced by the company we keep. If we surround ourselves with negativity, we risk absorbing those traits, just as being around positivity can inspire virtue and growth. Have you ever noticed how being around certain people or consuming certain media leaves you feeling drained, anxious, or frustrated? These are signs that you may be exposing yourself to negative influences. Stoicism teaches us to be vigilant about our environment, as it can either support or hinder our pursuit of a calm and virtuous life. Practical ways to distance yourself from negative influences. Protecting your peace doesn't mean isolating yourself from the world or avoiding all forms of criticism or challenge. Instead, it involves being selective about what you allow into your life. Here are some Stoic-inspired strategies to manage negative influences. Limit exposure to negative people. If there are individuals in your life who consistently bring negativity, gossip, or complaints, consider limiting your time with them. While it may not always be possible to avoid such people entirely, especially if they are colleagues or family, you can set boundaries to protect your mental well-being. Be mindful of what you consume. In the digital age, we are constantly bombarded with news, social media, and other forms of content. Be intentional about what you read, watch, and listen to. Choose sources that inspire you, challenge you to think positively, or provide meaningful information. Avoid content that consistently feeds into anger, fear, or negativity. Surround yourself with uplifting influences. Seek out people, books, and experiences that elevate your state of mind. Join groups that encourage personal growth or engage in activities that bring joy and fulfillment. The Stoics often emphasized learning from those who embody the virtues you wish to cultivate. Reflect. Are you protecting your peace of mind? Ask yourself, who or what are the main sources of negativity in my life? How do I feel after interacting with certain people or consuming certain media? What steps can I take to create a more positive environment for myself? By distancing yourself from negative influences, you create a space where you can focus on your own growth and maintain a tranquil state of mind. The Stoics understood that while we cannot control everything in our environment, we can choose how we interact with it. This choice is crucial for living a balanced and fulfilling life. The wisdom of Stoicism offers profound guidance for navigating life's challenges while maintaining inner peace and strength. These 10 lessons, practicing detachment, living in the present, embracing gratitude, developing resilience, accepting what you cannot change, avoiding being led by desires, prioritizing self-care, engaging in continuous learning, practicing empathy, and distancing yourself from negative influences, provide a roadmap to a calm and virtuous life. Each of these practices helps cultivate a mindset where you are less swayed by external circumstances and more focused on living according to your values. Remember, Stoicism is not just about philosophy, it is about action. Applying these principles in daily life requires consistent effort and reflection, but the rewards are a deeper sense of fulfillment and freedom. If these lessons resonate with you, consider taking a moment to share your thoughts in the comments below. How do you plan to incorporate these Stoic principles into your life? Do you have a favorite Stoic practice that you'd like to share with others? Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel for more content on Stoicism, and share it with friends who might benefit from this wisdom. Your engagement helps us spread the teachings of Stoicism and build a community of like-minded individuals who seek to live a life of virtue and inner peace. Thank you for watching, and may you find strength and serenity in practicing these Stoic principles. Stay mindful, stay resilient, and keep striving toward a life of tranquility and wisdom.